971theticket.com.
The following is a paid program. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Entercom Radio, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. We got a great panel today. Of course, we are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. I got Alex Nafusi, of course, joining us across the way.
Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning to you, Alex. Harry Gland's always to my right. Here we go. Get that on there, Harry. All right, we got you now, baby.
Low rate, the best mortgage banker. We do loans everywhere. That's phenomenal. Great intro.
You should have thought of that.
I should have thought of that. I wish I did.
We definitely take your calls here, 248-539-9797. And we bring in Dan Dubinsky, Skyward Realty downtown.
Good morning,
Royal
guys.
Oak. Hey, Dan. Always great to have you back.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Good. Happy New Year to you. We haven't seen you since the New Year on the show, of course. Alex sees you all the time out there in Royal Oak.
Yeah. I've been listening, been staying tuned though.
Great. There's a lot of
I do miss you, but I'm glad you're back on.
Thank
you sound good.
Lots of good things happening, of course, all across the region here. We got tons of real estate information to share with you. Let's definitely get busy out there as home prices are going to continue to go up. Of course, interest rates still ended the week at 9-month highs. So, again, as we spoke, mortgage rates definitely headed up. We're always lean on the conservative side. So, our Capital Mortgage Funding always been a fixed rate mortgage shop where we're looking to get our clients locked in and fixing your house payment so you know what you're looking at every month. And with that being said, Harry, the rates have been moving upwards.
Well, rates are going up. We said rates were going to go up. Rates are going to continue to go up through the year. The Fed is predicting that they're going to go ahead and hold to their monetary policy of raising the Fed funds rate 3 times this year. We'll see if that happens, but rates are definitely going to go up. However, the great news is here in southeastern Michigan, the weather's been phenomenal for a wintertime. January home purchases are up year over year from January of 2017 to January of 2018. We're up now. Last week we told everybody that the applications and closings were up over 20%. Some going on with my earphones, but anyways, and that's true. It's up over 20% now, year to year, and that's because, as Dan Dubinsky and I said, the weather is phenomenal here. People are going out. People are looking at houses. People are selling houses. People are buying houses, and it's all because of the weather.
Well, it's been better than last week.
Without a doubt. And, this weather cycle we've had is real cold, then nice and warm, then real cold. And we notice, those weeks when it's warm, more traffic in our open houses.
Absolutely.
More phone calls. It's, it's weather related. A lot of people think it's based on when spring comes, when you see it. It's mainly when the snow is off the ground and people are comfortable in walking around in houses.
Right. So here it is. Everybody see it. We're on Facebook Live. Here's the camera. Yep. Here's the report. Not only is it happening here in southeastern Michigan, but the national report is, yes, mortgage applications are up after the 3rd straight week. That means the last 3 weeks, applications have been up, and that is all over the country. So not only here, but all over the country. Here it is. We don't say anything on the show that's not factual. Here's the report. I have it right in front of me. Here it is, everybody.
Yeah, and you know what, Harry? A lot of that has to do with the economy is doing extremely well. Again, the stock market's doing extremely well, and it's been a good start for a lot of families out there. They're seeing a little bit more money in their 401ks. Again, there's some news that the new tax reform bill is going to show up a little bit more money in their pocketbook. It all leads to, of course, a really strong home buying season. Well, the mortgage rates tend to be a little scary. It's hard for the lenders to gauge where they're going. So we're just sticking with the motto.
They're headed where they're going. Who cares?
Well, it's not scary.
Let me go with that.
There is no denying.
They're not 16%.
There's no denying that employment, housing, and the overall economy is getting better. We cannot deny that. People are spending money. That's what's going on. So you're seeing a rise in home prices. And that also, Dan Dubinsky and Alex Nafusi, as you like to say, guys, it's not because there's a lack of inventory. There's a lack of quality inventory. So the quality inventory that's on is going to be priced higher.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on.
No, thanks to you for finishing my point. I appreciate that. And 248-539-9797.
Wow.
That's exactly where we're going this morning.
Sometimes people can articulate better.
Yeah, they can.
Aggression this morning.
I like it.
Oh, why not? We'll get things going.
I'm in a great mood.
So with that being said, purchase business is definitely dynamite. What do you see here coming in the spring of 2018? Is this going to be just like last year with the multiple bids and everything else? It's already headed that way.
I foresee that. And we've had it just the other day over Christmas holiday in a condo in Birmingham. Framingham, multiple offers. And it depends on the properties that come up. If they're priced,
you can't
right
use your brother's condo as an example.
If they priced right and show well, they actually will get a lot of looks and multiple offers. What we're finding too is the people that bought back in the downturn, they have a ton of equity in these homes.
Yeah.
And now some of them are starting to cash in and starting to move up.
Why?
It is what it is, Alex. I don't know.
Because human behavior dictates they have to have it.
We're paid based on loan size. People buying houses, and I'm telling you right now,
We tell people to take a lower loan.
Yeah, if you buy your house in 2008 and have a ton of equity now, sweet.
Right.
Well, you don't have to move.
Well, some people have a kid. Some people need more space. Some people, the different
Okay,
location.
fine. What about the people that don't?
Well, I can't. I'm not here to tell people if to buy or sell, Alex.
Well, you are a realtor, so that maybe you should consider that.
I'm here to help them. Obviously.
Help them, not tell them what to do.
And the truth is, you know what? I send them to you guys to tell them if they're able to do that. That's what I should be doing.
As you can
that's a
tell,
good
we're pretty jacked up this morning.
Yeah.
And this is, really, this is the original panel.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
This is the original
What did you
family.
say? You said bring your A game.
Bring your A game. We said to Alex last week, bring your A game.
Okay, last week I brought my
Right.
Z game.
But that doesn't mean you have to beat your brother up on the air.
Hey, definitely with all this being said and stuff,
Hey, listen, at least I own it.
oh, you owned it?
I do.
All right, Harvey, bring us back.
Go ahead, buddy. Sorry. Focus.
Definitely at the beginning of the year, they changed the FHA. It started at the end of last year. Of course, FHA loan limits have gone up. And of course, jumbo loan limits, the conforming loan limits went up to 453. So there's more opportunities out there. And again, we see the prices going up, but now there's still that opportunity where you could buy 5% down at $453,000. And that's sort of the misnomer out there is people need to find out how to obtain these houses and does it fit their budget. And I like the idea that a lot of the families still keep building that knowledge bank up. And if you've bought a house before, I still think, and many of the clients that meet with us say, Harvey, I'm glad I came in and met with you because things have changed over the last 5, 10, 20 years. And applying for a mortgage or purchasing a house, things are a little bit different, Dan.
Well, without a doubt. And, now when we do face these multiple offer situations, you have to put your best foot forward. And, okay, is that putting more down? Is that eliminating maybe, I know you don't like this, maybe an inspection? Is this?
You should never waive the inspection.
The days
Clause.
of occupancy.
Stop being a typical realtor.
Let me qualify this. How about eliminating inspection for the condos, their bylaws? And
Right.
We can do that because
Why
we've
would
done
you
it.
waive the
No.
bylaws?
Dan has said that. Dan has said that in the past.
If I
He's
sold
on record.
if I sold the same condo a month ago, and I know their bylaws, I know their financial situation, and it will make our next buyer look better. And waiving that when we already have that information, why not do that?
Well played. Good point.
Thank you very much.
Dan, I love the point because at the end of the day, right, especially condominiums, the structure itself is covered by the condominium insurance policy, right? Sure. It's covered by the whole association. And right, you might only have a furnace that could go down or maybe an interior, the hot water heater that's not that expensive to repair. You're not going to lose a house. With everyone overbidding $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $20,000 on a home, what's the difference if you have to put a new hot water heater in for $800?
Yeah, you're right. And there's another thing you can do is we have our buyers now sometimes write a note and tell them who they are, what they're all about. Because remember, this is an emotional sale for some of these sellers who've raised a family in this house. They want to give it to someone that's going to take care of it, and it's emotional for them. So that really goes a long way in saying who you are and what your intent is with the home.
Yeah, you can definitely buy an unbelievable house, whether it be in any region here in Southeast Michigan. I mean, FHA loan limits at $294,515. That's the base loan amount. So if you put 3.5% down, moving upwards, your purchase price could be as high as $305,000. So there's lots of opportunities out there for family. Be sure to give us a phone call. We'll turn you into a homeowner.
So Harvey, roughly what you're saying is you buy a house for $300,000. All you have to do is come up with $9,000 in closing costs. Approximately, just round numbers.
15 all in, I would say.
Right. So I mean, think about that. You're buying a house for $300 to come up with $15,000.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like a bad thing to me.
I think that's relatively speaking, it's extremely reasonable to be fair.
If I said I'm going to give you $15,000, you're going to give me $300,000.
I don't think I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, for the homeowners, I think it's a tremendous environment. The environment for buying a home, as you can tell, we talked about it nationally and locally. It's great right now.
Fantastic.
Before we go to break, I want to send some love out to my family. They're in New York. My little nephews are listening. Charlie, Henry, Jack, Broski, Mom, my brother,
great.
Danielle,
Hi,
Nick. Hi, everybody.
Hey, when we come back,
Hi,
call your
Boston.
phone calls, 248-539-9797. Keep it here.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. That's 1-800-569-7283. You can always email us at lowrateonline.com. It's where you're going to find professionals who have been in the mortgage industry for several years. And I'll tell you, the knowledge is king. If you're out there trying to purchase a house, you need to have a professional team. That's why we always bring in the professional real estate agents. This morning, of course, Charlie Lutz from RE/MAX joining us. Charlie handles a lot of business out on the east side. And it's always a pleasure to have you, Charlie. You're very articulate, but more importantly, having professionals and if you're out there working, it's night and day. I mean, I know when people meet me, they tell me, wow, Harvey, you're giving us a lot of great information. I know that's what we expect out of you too, Charlie.
Well, it's important. You got to have a good team. Everyone that's involved in your team has to have the same mindset as you. You know, our business and as far as our platform is, we want to make the customers first. It's not about us. It's about putting the customer on that platform where we want to elevate them to a status where they feel as though they're our only client, and that's our goal. No matter if we're working with a particular inspector, or in this case, my son here that works at Capital Mortgage. That's very important to us.
Well, you know, the value proposition that you bring, Charlie, is that team concept, because you know we all have the only thing that everybody has an equal amount of is their time. So what during that time frame, what kind of value are you bringing to your clients? You're bringing your experience. We talk about value proposition all day long. What do we have to bring is the same thing you have to bring. You've been in this business a very long time. You believe in a team concept. You understand what it's like and the value of quality information, real information versus fake information. Okay, fake news. So what you bring, your value proposition, is you're always going to do the right thing. And by virtue of the fact that you've been in this business a very, very long time and you're a survivor in this business, hey, everybody really thinks that the mortgage and real estate industry, it's a sexy business. It's not sexy.
There's nothing sexy about it.
There's nothing sexy. You just have to work at it. And that's what you do. So the misnomer is that every mortgage person that you talk to, yeah, we can get it done, we can get it done, we can get it done. But what kind of information are they passing on to their client about how they're going to get it done?
Red Wings hockey.
He shoots, he scores!
97.1 The Ticket.
All right, welcome back to the show, 9:17. Hey, not too bad out there. January 27, 2018. If you're just joining us, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. You can find us at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We do loans everywhere.
And speaking of doing loans everywhere, we have people in New York listening to us. We have people in Boston. We have people in Florida. I talked to a guy actually via text and email this week. He listens to the show. He's in Florida. We referred it down to our Florida team. Ruby and Ann are down there right now. And picked up a loan from our team in Florida. That's great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, too. I'll tell you, we make it real fun to purchase a house.
You did say Matt Riley text in, right?
Oh, you've got a little text here.
Yeah, Matt Riley's a great guy. He does this charity auction out at the Lodge every year, Killer Kowalski Charity Auction, Killer Kowalski Foundation.
Yep.
Runs a great show out there. It was a lot of fun. Hi, Matt, if you're listening. Thanks for texting in. We appreciate that.
That's outstanding. We'll take your calls here, too. 248-539-9797. Coach Dan Dubinsky from Skyward Realty joins us. We're always talking about what's going on, Dan, with the local vibe, what's going on there. Of course, we see property values are continuing to go up, as we talked about in the first segment. Interest rates are headed up that way also. It costs a little bit more to purchase a house. But still, 40, 50-year lows. And what is still a great time to buy versus renting?
Without a doubt. And we're seeing more actually investors now buying these rental properties because they see the advantages of it. You can put your put a client in there, a tenant in there, not only cover your monthly mortgage payment, taxes, interest, but have a little bit left over. And the people that did that 3-4 years ago, they're seeing a lot of equity because of the appreciation. And that's really where you make your money in home ownership, is appreciation over the years.
Yeah, right? So here's the deal, guys. We're talking about, we came out really hot. We came out really strong like we usually do. This is a consumer advocacy program. Here's the deal with the rates. You ready? 30-year fixed rates right now are between 4 1/8 and 4 3/8.
It's a calm low force.
That's unbelievable. That's so low. A 15-year is still 3.5 to 3 3/4. That's where they are. If you locked into a rate 30 days ago, you might be in the high threes, and whoever took care of your lender and locked you in, and that's the rate you're going to close at.
That's great.
They hooked you up. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's recap here. 4 1/8 to 4 3/8. If you locked in before, you got a lower rate. You're not getting that same rate in the threes on a 30-year fix now, unless you're paying a lot of points and a lot of costs. That's the deal. So rates aren't going to 10 right now.
Right.
But as we like to say, Harvey likes to say, they've burped up. All right, they burped up a quarter. They burped up 3/8.
Who cares?
That's the point.
And what are you shopping for, by the way? You're like, I'm going to call you and 3 other lenders. For what?
That's the point. So everybody driving around, you're going to look at houses today. Go look at the houses, because what's going to happen is by the time spring comes, Dan Dubinsky, the house you're looking at now, it's going up in price.
Without a doubt. And the thing is, people are saying, well, I want to wait to get a larger down payment. Well, why do you need that larger down payment? You have enough to put
it's
down
people that want to be comfortable, though, too.
I agree
a lot
with
of
that.
times, like in their head, it makes them feel better.
But I do agree with that. I believe that, like Alex just said, it's in your head, and you've got to when you're making that payment, my man, you got to lay your head down on that pillow at night and be comfortable with that payment. Right. But you don't want to be nickel wise and dollar foolish, is what you're saying.
Without a doubt. You wait now until late spring when the prices jump up by 5%.
Isn't it penny wise and pound foolish?
No. It's nickel wise. Stop it. Don't mix metaphors. Right? You guys don't even know what that means. Just don't mix metaphors.
Yeah. So where I was going with that was that the fact that you're waiting right now, when prices are going to go up in late spring for sure. We'll see more properties on the market, but who knows what the interest rates might do as well. They might go up. So what you save, it's going to be a wash to put that bigger down payment now.
Dan, $10,000, when a client sits down, they say, Harvey, if I borrow, let's say $200,000, or if I borrow $210,000 on a 30-year mortgage, it's only $50 a month. And on a 15-year mortgage, $10,000 only means about $70-some a month, about $72, $73 a month. You don't want to lose that house again, right. And you say you don't want to save that extra money.
You got to be comfortable too with that. $70 a month is, sometimes people have a number in their head like, I'm not going to pay more than $1,000 a month.
Yeah, but then what they're doing is long term. They're sacrificing what they could have had.
I agree with you
for an additional $20 a month.
I agree with you.
I agree with that. We sit down with people all day long, and we're extremely conservative and very cautious and very conscious of other people's money, and we want to get them. You ready, everybody? We want to give you a lower rate We want you to have a lower payment.
Right.
It doesn't do us any good when rates go up. All right. We want lower rates and lower payments.
But again,
what I like you guys do is you take into account their lifestyle as well, right? Which is important. Do they have a country club membership? Do they like to eat out all the time? And that really comes down to
do you want to have money for your kids' hockey team?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want to do here?
Exactly. And a lot of other companies don't do that, where you're taking that into consideration, which is I think a great thing.
yeah, if you have a young couple, again, what are their future plans? It's very important to sit down with professionals and they lay out a whole path for you. And again, if you're a young couple and you're thinking about having a family, that falls into what you're going to put down on the house. Also, Dan, so often we talk about it, the house dictates how much money you might put down. Although you might go into a property or the whole buying process thinking you're going to put 20% down, maybe the house needs substantial work, but it's such a great value, the location's great, everything else falls in place. So now you're thinking you're going to put less money down, use the money to fix up the house. You can always come back and refinance. And as you mentioned, Dan, more importantly, home values are going up, so you can come back a couple years later.
So Harvey and Alex right now are really concerned, and other people are too, that the property values are going to continue to go up, and is there going to be that bubble word, that B word? And I know Alex is extremely cognizant of it, and he brings it up every day. People can't afford to buy $500,000 houses all the time. That's his quote. You can go back, listen to previous shows. He said it's just not going to happen. We're not asking you to be a prognosticator, a predictor, a fortune teller, but this spring it looks like housing prices are moving up. Where do you see it?
They're not going down.
I see it going up as well. And what I see the differences between now and 7 years ago, 8 years ago, is if a buyer wanted to buy that home, or they came out of their own pocket with the money, they didn't borrow that money to do it, right? So that money is still sitting there in the form of equity in the home. So that's why I don't think we're going to see what we saw last time. And I don't foresee it on the horizon either, because everything's going up steady. It's not going up leaps and bounds. It's steadily moving up the appreciation to it.
All you have to do is take a look, drive around the neighborhoods, drive around Metropolitan Detroit, take a look at all the new construction going on, take a look at all the infill building.
I know, but
who's
going to buy those?
Well, they're buying them.
Alex, there's a pent-up demand right now. There are buyers all over the place that want to go ahead and get into these homes. You're seeing that.
I know. So Alex, you see the paper this morning. It says Pontiac is a new place to buy a home.
Yeah.
I mean, is that...
There's some sweet lofts in Pontiac.
Well, I'm just saying, you didn't see that before.
There's some sweet neighborhoods in Pontiac. There's great houses.
But geographically, it's surrounded by wealthy communities, right?
Listen.
It sounds like, but it has never hit. Now maybe Pontiac's going to start coming around.
Well, there you go.
Well,
like Detroit.
As a good downtown area, there's restaurants there, there's places to go, there's things to do. People want that. They want a mobile environment. They want to be able to walk, drive a short distance, get out, walk around, go to shops, do that kind of thing. And it's a mobile society now, man. I mean, it's a little bit of an urban feel.
When did you ever think you'd see lofts in Detroit going for $800,000 again?
I'm happy about it.
I am too. I think it's a good thing. I'm not saying anything negative about it. I think it's outstanding.
We're gonna have a couple. We're gonna have a couple of those projects actually coming on here. We're gonna introduce a couple of those projects in the next coming months, and there's a lot of great ones out there.
Hey, man, that's why there's 31 flavors of ice cream. Right?
Or more.
There's some for everybody. Or
there
more. They sub out the licorice for the Superman, and then they sub out the Superman for the chocolate.
They don't all count.
248. I know. I'm in that store all the time.
248-539-9797. I'm going to take your calls all morning long. And we always speak about financial health. Every customer is a little bit different, whether you're extremely wealthy, maybe just starting off. Again, everyone's got a little bit different situation. We'll go ahead and educate you and tailor mortgage programs that fit your need, always serving the community. And call Capital Mortgage at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We have a mortgage that fits everyone's needs out there. And again, you're going to really get that knowledge behind you. That's the key. The entire transaction is what we teach you from A to Z. And I think that's what makes people feel comfortable. Closing transactions in less than 30 days is easy, but having buyers really understand the process and that confidence that they get throughout the transaction is really great. Again, 248-539-9797. We have tons to share with you. We're up against a quick little break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about debt consolidation, refinancing your house, removing PMI. Keep it here.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
All righty, welcome back to the show, 9:33. If you're just joining us, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Yep, we're in our 18th year of bringing you this show. Tons of information. Again, if you want to become a homeowner, you definitely want to give us a call. We'll show you everything you need to know with absolutely no obligation. Get a real approval letter from real mortgage bankers. Call Capital, 1-800-LOW-RATE. That's 1-800-569-7283. And that's the way to get business done. We were going to go into a little bit of debt consolidation. We always talk about that new equity that everyone has. Of course, the economy has dramatically changed here across the country, more importantly here in Southeast Michigan and all around our state.
Yeah, so there's a little housekeeping item we have to clear up from last week. And as you know, the new tax laws came out. And one of the things that got hit the hardest was the home equity loan tax deduction. Now, let me simplify this for you. It did not go away if you used a home equity loan. We call it an 80-20. If you got a first mortgage for 80% of the value, and then you got a second mortgage for 20% of the value, use that to acquire the home when you purchase the home. You closed on the same date as the first and the second. That's still deductible. Now, if you did that before December 15th of 2017, the whole thing is deductible, okay? Up to $1 million of total mortgage debt. Now, if you did it after December 15th,
I mean, you took cash out on a home equity line to buy.
You can't do that. You can't take cash out on a home loan to buy a car, go on a trip, consolidate. No, that's not deductible. But if you did it after December 15th to acquire a home, to buy a home, it's still deductible up to $750,000 now.
Okay, good.
So let's not misunderstand that home equity loan interest is still deductible if it was used simultaneously when you purchase the house.
Let's misunderstand the IRS code. Yeah, those guidelines.
Well, and by the way,
it's like a phone book.
Check with your CPA,
Amen,
your tax advisor, and all this on what I'm telling you. But fact check me on this.
Yeah, no,
home
it's good stuff.
Home equity loan interest is still deductible if you use it to acquire the home. So if you did before 12/15, it's up to $1 million. If you did it after and going forward, it's $750,000.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes. Of course, the new tax code will be coming out. And now more than ever, you better consult with your CPA or financial advisors and make sure you put a plan together. Again, maybe alimony's not tax deduction anymore. Charitable gifts to your...
what?
No, yeah. You didn't know this?
Charitable gifts to... and I'm just throwing a couple out there. I'm not a CPA.
I'm done with it, so I'm okay.
Hey, but you got... But your deal ended before December of 2017.
I'm okay.
Good for you.
All right, one last thing I want to throw out there. Of course, I always have something to throw out, but reverse mortgages for our folks up there that qualify. If you're over 62 years of age, you can take a look at a reverse mortgage. Whether you want to refinance using a reverse mortgage, you can also purchase a home using a reverse mortgage. You have to be dealing with the professionals on this. And I'll give you an example. I don't even do it in my office. We send our people away to a serious week class where they learn all the intricacies of a reverse mortgage.
The continuing education on that is longer than a week. However, we have somebody that's certified in our office because
All right, welcome back to the show, 9:30. Good morning if you're just waking up. Sort of a nice day out there, getting up to about the high 40s anyways, and sort of on the drier side. Maybe cooling down this week, but definitely home buying season, Dan.
Without a doubt. No snow on the ground.
And we take all your calls, too. 248-539-9797. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
So we're out in the realtor community every day, every working day, every Saturday and Sunday as well. And Dan, your compadres in the real estate business are out there. They're busy, and they are lighting it up right now because the weather is so good. They're showing so many houses. Whatever's on the market is getting shown. All the listings are getting shown. They're being staged properly most of the time. I know Harvey and Alex like to talk about that because they realize right now you have to stage a property properly, or else it won't get any attention at all. But because of the weather, everybody's busy out there. The start of the year, everybody's up 20-25%. It's extremely busy. What say you about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're finding more and more people are calling, and it is due to the weather. And, for the sellers out there, you're 100% correct. They do have to stage the property. Vacant homes don't show as well as homes with furniture in it. But homes with furniture in it, you also have to minimize it. You have to, and people want it not to basically like that furniture. It's for sizing. All right, well, how does a couch fit here? How does a chair fit here? You also want to make sure you depersonalize the house. Get the pictures off the wall. So many times we take people through, they spend time looking at pictures of the kids and thinking they know someone. They walk out of the house and they forget the house. So you want to make it look
Doesn't that kind of make you think, though, like that could be like us and our kids, or no? I'm just asking. I don't know.
To a certain extent, but I think you just make it more museum-like, where it's impersonal, but yet you still have it furnished and
make it warm.
Make it warm, exactly. It's baking fresh cookies during an open house, like those kind of smells. People use all their senses, and sometimes it makes a big difference.
While we're sticking with the home purchase stuff, Dan, definitely. Now you show up to a house and you do a listing, and you're invited into their home, and you see some things that really aren't right.
Sure.
You're pretty confident. I mean, you don't need that. That's not going to make or break your life, but you're there giving really professional opinion. Are you ever hesitant about sharing things about tuck pointing or things that are noticeable to the house where when a buyer comes there with an inspector, they're going to point these things out?
Without a doubt. If I go up the stairs and the stairs creak a little bit, I'll step on it and do it a couple times just to bring attention and let them know, hey, maybe you should throw a nail in there. You should get that fixed. It's important because you're doing your client a disservice by not pointing everything out to them, because your job is to get the top dollar for them, and getting top dollar is making sure the home shows properly. People don't like in the winter times people walking through their house with shoes on. Instead of having them take their shoes off, buy those footies, right?
Yeah, inexpensive.
It's easy to do. You can throw them out in the way, but it's more convenient for the buyer. A lot of times we have buyers that will come in and just on first sight alone, they'll look at the house and say, I don't want to be there. Or, it's a big thing is if I try to get the key and I can't open the lock because it sticks and it's really hard to do that, it brings a bad vibe to that house right off the bat.
Curb appeal and your first impressions go a long way.
And those are really simple fixes. That's asinine that someone wouldn't have that fixed.
Right, and those are things that we point to right away, and we'll say, listen, I know you're ready to put the home on the market right now, but I think you need a 3 days, 4 days worth of work in this home before it shows best, and let's get that done before it hits the market.
Yeah, that's a great idea. 248-539-9797. We just had really the best year since 2006, really up against some headwinds with the lack of inventory out there. But the employment figures are
Quality
great.
Inventory, Harvey.
Yeah, you like to say it. That's good. But definitely, people are back to work, and we see it here in Southeast Michigan, with the automotive industry really jamming in the right direction. People are back to work, so there's lots of opportunities out there for families. We look some of the numbers from last year. The existing home sales were really at the highest since 2006, going back all there, 5.51 million. It was a ton of homes sold last year, and again, we're up against that again for this year. If you're currently renting, it doesn't cost you anything to sit down with mortgage professionals, whether it be us at Capital Mortgage Funding. There's no charge, there's no obligation. There's a lot of things you can find out, how much you qualify for, how to save money and obtain that house. Sometimes even just fixing up your credit. We've got some software programs that'll help you move your credit scores up. And a lot of times we can address some things in the past, maybe you had some bad civil judgments, but families are coming back. Families that were in trouble, they did foreclosures and there were short sales and deed of lieu and foreclosures. Those aren't the buyers of today. Those might have been some of the questionable purchases back in 2004, 5, and 6, and we saw those families lost their homes. Mm-hmm. But those aren't the families that are buying houses now. Everyone has to pretty much fit the programs, and they're qualified and they're a bit more educated.
Yeah, we had a wide range. We had one for sale on Prairie, not too far from you.
Right.
Prairie's over in Royal Oak by Beaumont. We had it on the market for one weekend, and we had 4 offers on the property, and it was diverse buyers. It was a first-time home buyer. Then there's an older couple, and then there's a couple with a brand-new kid. Mm-hmm. But, that price went from $175, and we ended up getting $187 for it, believe it or not. And then people ask, well, maybe you undervalued the home. Not really, because it's tricky. When you price a home, people tend to look at homes in increments of $25,000. So pricing it at $175 as opposed to $180, right? You want to get the buyer that was looking under the $175 mark. So what we did was drove more traffic, and the price drove the price up to the $187 number with a cash offer, and limited the appraisal to $170,000. So because we knew we had 5 other offers, we used that as leverage to get the best offer, and we're not worried about the appraisal now.
Did you talk about the closing time frame? Did you offer a 30-day close?
We offered 30-day close, and so they were willing to do that because they knew they were being forced by other offers. We disclosed that there were other offers. We instead of doing highest and best, what we just said was, this guy's great. Why don't we just work with this one person, as opposed to playing the game of trying to get everyone to bring the better offer.
And the reason why I bring it up, a 30-day close, I mean, that's a very short time frame. It's a doable time frame. Not to say you couldn't close loans in less, because you certainly can. And also, Alex, so a counterpoint is sometimes you don't even need to write a 30-day offer if you can do 45 or 60, because not always, people don't always want to move out. Here's the however.
Because you have to find some place to go.
Here's the however. In Dan's case, it made the offer stronger. So what he did was he had all the prerequisites and he offered a shorter closing time.
Right.
So right. Well, hold on. Let me finish.
Sorry, I'm all jacked up.
So no, it's okay. So that's what helped
Focus out.
the house sell.
Right.
Now go ahead. You don't always need it because why?
Well, because you have to have some place to go.
Right.
So just would you sell your house in a weekend?
Possession time. So
Yeah, possession.
So what he did was go ahead and talk about time of possession.
Yeah. So instead,
We're just arguing all day with him.
So instead,
arguing.
Our goal is always to close as quick as possible, right? You want to close as fast as possible.
Because you want to get your commission.
Well, here's
What's your
things.
check?
Things can go wrong. Things can always go wrong. The longer the time frame, the more chance of something going wrong. What you said, yes, of course.
Thank you.
But the other thing is you can work that possession time in. Okay, now you can stay 30 days, and in this case, they stayed the 30 days at a reasonable number, but they don't need to use the whole 30 days. They can use whatever they want.
Exactly.
People don't realize that they can leave in one day, and the money's held in escrow, and the title company will cut the check for the time used and the balance back to the seller.
I'm glad you did that. I'm glad we talked about the time of possession and the closing date. You don't always need a 30-day close. You can get it. You don't always need a time of possession. Possession at closing, okay, because people don't have anywhere to go. But I think what you did in this case was perfect because you framed it, you marketed it, and you sold it. It was right for everybody. It was right for the seller. It was right for the buyer.
Correct. It was a win-win situation.
I
could do.
I like it.
Got to understand the motivation of everyone out there. Hey, Sam, calling in from Troy. Welcome to our show this morning. Go ahead, Sam. What's your question?
Sam, what's up, man?
Sammy Boy.
Sam, we'll put him back on hold there.
Come on, Sam.
We'll move off to something else.
Right,
Okay, definitely, Dan. You said it highest and best. Of course, that's a term that's been used frequently over the last couple of years. There's no doubt everyone.
Since 1976 when I got licensed.
Exactly. But the numbers are saying 10% less inventory. So we got highest and best out there. We talked about.
Okay, wait. Sorry, highest and best.
Highest and best use, high and best use of the property, highest and best price. There's all the highest.
So
and
you
best.
can go highest and best. What if you're not a qualified borrower? What if you have some degenerate with a 580 credit score?
In this situation, what we did not offer highest and best. What we did was disclose that there's other offers, and then pick the best qualified person to just work with them.
Right. That's the point I wanted to stick with, is that it's not always the highest and best. That a lot of times it's what's going on in the seller's life. They might want that family to move in there, and the fact that they don't need to rush out right away. They might be building a house. There's a lot of new families that are building houses or selling their existing homes. So all their things that determine what goes on in a transaction are just as important as the highest and best.
The motivation of the seller is the most important aspect of any real estate deal. Do they need a place to move to quick or get out of quick? Do they have a place to go to? So if we can work with them in other terms of the possession time and let them stay there and so forth, then they're going to probably work with us on the price and things that are important to my buyer.
Yeah, it makes it real fun when everyone's on the same page. All right, I wanted to sort of go into another subject, always debt consolidation loans and getting rid of mortgage insurance and those things. But debt consolidation loans, as we talked about earlier, as rates tend to trickle up a little bit, sooner is better than later. Take a look, again, sit down with a real professional and find out how much equity you might have. We're actually going to have Mike Tomczyk in, always talking about appraisals, actually next Saturday, which is always a great show.
He's on.
Is it right? That'll be next.
That would be next Saturday.
That is next Saturday. So again, for a lot of families out there, although you might have a great mortgage that you don't want to refinance, maybe take a look. If you got a 30-year at a great rate just in the last handful of years, maybe take a look at getting a 20-year, a similar interest rate as you might have. But again, if you could pull out $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 and consolidate your debt, or pay off those old student loans or back taxes or whatever you might going on, that's going to really move you forward in life. And again, maybe you can knock off a few years as you pull some of the equity out of your house.
Or that home equity loan rate, which is a variable rate, which is going to go up. You might want to fix that. You could, at that time, roll everything together, take a little
and it's no longer
cash
tax
out.
deductible.
And that's right. That's correct. And what you're going to see is that anybody who is on a variable rate ARM right now, it's going to go up. If you're sitting at, say, 3.5, 3 5/8 on a variable rate, when you get that letter in the mail, it's going to go up to, you're going to see it at 4.5, 4 5/8, almost 4 3/4. Right now, interest rates are less than 4 3/4. So why wouldn't you refinance into something that is closer to 4 1/8 to 4 3/8 than have it adjust to 4 3/4? Yeah. So when you get that letter, give us a call.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I'm glad you mentioned letters, Harry. Also, we've got some consumer advocate stuff that we'll definitely get to today also. 248-539-9797. We always want to hear from you. And
Where's
I'll tell you what. Yeah, where's Sam go?
Sam,
Anyways,
call us back,
we have
buddy.
open lines all morning long. Give us a call. We'll be right back.
97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to the show. If you are just tuning in, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. We're in our 18th year. Give us a call, 248-539-9797. We'd like to hear from you all about buying and selling homes out there. Debt consolidation, if you're already a homeowner. A lot of us might have overspent for the holidays. That's right. Now you can do some debt consolidation. And as you know, these home equity loans, well, not all of them are tax deductible anymore. So if you have a second mortgage that you've had in the past, definitely give Capital Mortgage a call. We'll show you great ways to save money. This is where the professionals come. Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. I want to move off to Macomb Township. We got Alex out there calling in about a home inspection and the process. Alex, go ahead with your call if we can plug you in there. And, my board guy, here we go. Hey, guys, hit the... We're going to go to the caller there, and there she is. Hey, Alex, thanks for staying on hold. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for taking the call.
Thank you.
I just have a general question in regard to the home inspection. My wife and I, we bought a new home out in Sterling Heights this time last year. We had the home inspected. There was a couple things on the inspection that he said weren't code, and we should request them to be updated. So we negotiated them. They ended up getting them fixed. And then we've had some minor issues, not with what they fixed, just general things. Like 2 weeks ago, we had a bad gas valve on our furnace. Woke up in the middle of the night, and our furnace was out. Luckily, it was the day. It was almost 45 degrees, so it wasn't that bad. Had a company come out the next morning. He goes, it's $240 fix. Wasn't a big deal, but he goes, there's a couple things I want to address with you. And he pointed out some hoses, and some things that he goes, none of this is code in your furnace room, from the hot water tank to the furnace to where the humidifier is. And he explained it, and he goes, did you guys get a home inspection? And I said, yeah, let me go grab a copy of it real quick. So I grabbed a copy of it. Nothing in that room was listed, and he said everything in our furnace was basically violation.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you got a...
Super Bowl 52 is 97.1 The Ticket.
back. 9:46 if you're just joining us. Not too bad of a day out there. And as we talk about so often here on the Hardcore Mortgage Show, home buying season is off and running. What a great time to buy as interest rates are still at all-time lows. Save a lot of money and get educated on the process. It doesn't cost you anything to get a real approval letter. Turn yourself into a real educated buyer. It's going to make the process smooth and easy. And I'll tell you, the knowledge always gives you the confidence.
Well, you talk about that, Harvey. The knowledge is the power in that. But, we talk about, there's real information and there's not real information. The
fake news?
Well, I'm not going there. The dissemination of accurate versus inaccurate information. Just because somebody tells you something doesn't make it true. It's true. Go ahead and do your homework, collect your information, then ask all the questions you want to ask. Okay? And then when somebody gives you that rate, get the rate in writing.
It doesn't matter, though.
Because there are costs that are associated with the rate. So if somebody comes out today and says, I can get you a 30-year fixed at 3.
Sure.
Okay, well, you can get it, but you're going to pay 7 points for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the bottom line is you're going to get information. You can go collect your information from all your informational resources. My feeling is that collect your information and then go ahead and verify the information that you're collecting.
Just go to someone that you trust. You can't just Google lowest interest rates because you're going to get ripped off.
Well, there's a lot of things you can negotiate on a transaction, whether it be with the real estate agent, your mortgage banker, inspection companies, and there's some things that you can't negotiate. But again, learn that. That knowledge is what's key to making sure you feel comfortable with the purchase. Look, a lot of reasons to become a homeowner. Purchasing a home has several reasons, including laying down the roots for your family. And I think that's ultimately is what people do is they're looking to raise their families in certain areas for whatever reason. It's close to the school districts they want to be to or in that school district, near restaurants and other family and friends. So many reasons why. So many great cities really across the area. And Harry, we always have the sports thing at our office because it really the whole area of Detroit is sort of intermingled with sports. We're passionate about those, our local teams.
We do have quite the sport office.
Well, it's not intermingled. It's not intermingled. It's one of our identities here in metropolitan Detroit. We have great sports teams. We have strong universities, and we identify with sports. 4 major sports teams. They've done pretty well over the years. And we identify with sports. That's what we do.
Yeah, it's really cool. I always like to throw a little bit in there, and a lot of local basketballs going on here. Some of the greatest teams around for all the high school kids.
You're talking about high school basketball.
You got high school basketball, which is really exciting for a lot of local kids. Hazel Park right now in our area is at the tops there. Clarkson's right behind them at number 2. Ann Arbor, our folks in Ann Arbor.
I think they play this week.
Skyline Eagles are doing great.
Clarkson this week.
Okay.
Did you get my email that I sent you yesterday? Speaking of sports,
what?
My high school football coach.
I know. You want me to call him?
No, I want you to verify.
Peripherally, I know him. Okay, so I might call him to verify.
You should.
All right. Well, nobody wants to hear about that.
Coach Finn,
Harry,
love you, buddy.
We definitely, Harry. Keeping that correlation with sports and everything. But there's a lot of great programs around. Even you're assistant coach over there at Wall Lake Western, 45th in the area here. But you guys are having a lot of you guys are having a lot of fun, having a great season. You're 6-4, and it's a lot of fun out there for anyone out there. Of course, if you have kids and you're looking to move to certain areas again, go for it. Make it a lot of fun.
It's part of the community where you want to send your kids to school. Yeah. It's part of the community, and if you're involved in, school activities, whatever they are, it's just a sense of community, and you are involved. And that's why when you talk about a work-life balance, you're going to work where you're going to work, but you got to pick. You can always drive to your office if you choose to do that. You have to pick a spot where you want to raise your family. Good schools, close to shopping, amenities, lifestyle, all those things, Dan Dubinsky. And I know you talk about that all the time. So when you're matching somebody up with a property, you take in consideration all the amenities that are around that property.
Without a doubt. Majority of people have already in their mind where they want to be. But occasionally you get people from out of town that want suggestions, And first of all, where do you work? Do you have kids? Is school important to you? Even if they don't have kids, school is always important, school systems, because you resell, you need this good school systems. But again, it goes to their lifestyle. Do they want to be able to walk into a town? Do they mind if they have to drive a little bit? Are they a suburban person or an urban person?
Do they want land? Do they not care about land? Do they want to keep up a house? Do they want a condo? All those things taken consideration.
Yeah, so really our job is, the first half an hour of my job is telling people how the process works. The second hour is me listening to their wants and needs before we even get in the car. because that's really important to find out what they want and what their lifestyle is all about.
And because we're friends, the third hour is calculating your commission.
Yeah. Wow. Well, actually, it's sending them to you guys to find out where.
There you go.
All right, a little bit of business to get to. Definitely, a lot of families call us with the constant calls. Hey, Harvey, how do I remove this PMI or the MIP out there on their transactions? So I wanted to throw out there's been these programs out there for several years, and they're called lender-paid PMI. So on conventional mortgages, you do have opportunities. Make sure you call your lender. Call us at Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE. Find out how to remove the PMI if you have a conventional loan. A lot of times you don't have to do anything. You might have enough equity in it now. You might have already paid PMI for over 5 years, and the equity allows you just to make the phone call to your current servicer. Many times, though, you need to refinance the house to establish the new equity position. And we see that also FHA loans. The MIP, the monthly MIP, is going to stick on your loan forever unless you refinance out of it. So again, if you currently have an FHA mortgage, call us. You probably have built-in equity. You may now qualify, if you had to go FHA before, which is a great loan, you may qualify for a conventional loan with a lot better terms, and that's key.
I sent a mailer out a couple weeks ago. There were a lot of families that hit tough times in 2008, and they lost their homes and had to buy a new one and went FHA. And there's a lot of people that are dropping the mortgage insurance, like you said, Harv. I mean, it's, the foreclosure's gone, the bankruptcy's gone, and you're saving $150 a month.
Right. So I'm going to rile Harvey up a little bit here. Harvey, you wanted to bring up on the show today, and I'm going to lead you in on this. I want you to talk about all the bogus letters people are getting in the mail, and explain the situation that one of your clients received.
I'm going to try to do it real quick, too. And again, if you have any calls on mortgages or real estate, be sure to call us in here. We're running out a little bit of time, but 248-539-9797 to get in on the show. But last week I had a client call me, and they had closed a while back, and sure enough, the mortgage is recorded. All of you have to understand that if you're out there and you're a homeowner, your information is recorded down at the county. And the letter...
So it's public.
It's public information.
Anyone can pull it.
Anyone pulls your information, they can send you a letter. Well, this was a real bogus letter. It made reference to the fact that they had just filed a quitclaim deed, which was true, but that they had money coming to them. And everyone out there knows... And if you're getting those strange calls, I had a call about, they said they were the IRS, but the letter stated one thing, and I called the person. It was his cell phone. And Harry, sure enough, I sent you the letter.
Yes,
it was completely bogus. And we saw even our friend Rob Walchek did a story this week on the Hall of Shame that couldn't have been any more bogus. It's just the nature. I'm sorry to say.
Here, listen, in the real world, if you're getting a letter that somebody is going to send you money,
right?
All right, call the police, all right, because... Truthfully, it doesn't happen that way in real life. Nobody is going to send you a letter that says you have money coming to you. All right?
Harry, as you know, I called
the Nigerian prince.
Your first call, if it's regarding a mortgage, should be to your mortgage person.
Yes.
Okay? If it's regarding a property that you entered into a transaction, you had legal representation, it should be to your attorney.
Yeah, but
if it's referencing IRS, it should be to your accountant or tax preparer. All right? You do not call that number on that letter. Okay, and you never give information, private information, to a stranger
Harry,
on the phone, and don't text it or email it.
There are companies that put your loan from Capital Mortgage Funding. I get them all the time.
And by the way, the Attorney General of the state of Michigan says you can't do that.
Yeah, I know they say
Let's sneak in Bill on a cell phone. Hey, Bill, thanks for calling in. Make it quick.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. What's up, man?
Go ahead.
Real quick question. I've got a house right now. I want to downsize. My kids are grown. Well, one's still in college. However, it's 2,300 square feet. I'm at a push with my mortgage right now. So, in other words, I'm like dead even. But I want to downsize, and I found houses in the $100,000 range. My house was appraised at around $240,000. But I want to go way down to like $100,000, just me and my wife. The problem is that I found houses I like in that range, but I don't want to sell my house first and then have to find a house in 20 days.
Yeah.
Is there a way you can buy a home?
Yeah, if you qualify, sure. Well, they'll be able to answer that better than I. But if you qualify, you can have yours and buy the other one. But a lot of people can't do that. So what we do is once we know that you're comfortable that there are homes out there, we put your home on the market. Then we could do two things. We could make this sale of this home is contingent upon you finding another home, which I don't like to do because we already know you're probably going to do it. I just like to build in possession time that gives you ample time to find that home. And then you're in a position where you're ready to buy, and it makes it a quick, easy deal.
So to summarize that, Bill, you got to find out what you qualify for. If you can purchase a new house and then, of course, keep your existing one because you're going to have the two of them for a little bit of a while. And also time on the market. So very important. It's a great call you made. We'll follow up with you. You need to be qualified, approved. That way we know you can buy the new house. And also I think a great real estate agent will tell you how many days on the market is your house typical. And they come and they do a review. And if you know you're going to sell your house right away, that's really good stuff.
Yeah, and you already said you found some that you could move into. It doesn't mean that those particular homes, but you know in general that there's an area that sells for the price you want and the home you like, that we'll be able to find one for you in a short period of time.
Yeah, downsize and
Yeah, I definitely know the area I want to stay out. I'm out in the Marine City area. We'll just go there.
There you go.
And I'm going to stay out there. My house is out in the same area in the township out there with some acreage. And like I said, it's huge. It's 2,300 square feet, but it's just way too big for us.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're a push because I paid off a lot of my daughter's loans because she went to private college with funds from my mortgage. So my mortgage is going to be a push. I've got, anywhere from 5 to 10 to put back down.
So you're at a break-even point on the house, is what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah. But you remember you have costs involved in selling the home, too. So you have your transfer tax,
Right.
commission.
Well, you got Dan's commission.
It might fall under a push, and that's what worries me.
Well, but I think they got to do it. We'll do it. I think Dan's got to do an analysis on what the property could sell for and do the numbers for you. And I think you have a plan, Bill. What I like about what your thought process is, you have a plan. You formulated a plan in your mind, what you want to do, and now we have to give you the opportunity to have the best execution of that plan.
Now, if they got my cell phone number, can I be contacted Monday?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep, we'll take care of that for you.
I'll be over on the other side of the country tomorrow in Canada, so I won't be available. I'm on my way there now. So.
You got it, my man.
No problem. Thanks for the call. Bill from Marine City. We appreciate your call.
Well, he's got a plan. He's formulated a plan in his mind. We have to see if we can execute it. Dan's got to take a look and see what the value of the property is. And he's got an idea where he wants to stay, and he wants to keep his family, he and his wife, in that certain area. And I like it.
Yeah, makes sense. Helps when they have a plan.
All right. Just to throw something out there, again, we were talking about this new equity that so many families have. If you bought a home in the last 5 to 10 years, you probably have way more equity than you think. But not everyone does. Do the right thing with your equity. Call Capital Mortgage Funding. Let us run all the numbers for you. Again, there's ever an obligation. You're going to save a ton of money. Hey, that music says we're it. We do loans everywhere, that's for sure.
Everywhere.
There's Harry's hands up. Hey, that music says it's the end of the Hardcore Mortgage Show. We'll be back next Saturday. And you can always call Capital 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We have a full staff all weekend long. All right, we got Pat Caputo coming up with sports. Tons of information here. Keep it here on 97.1. For Alex Nafusi, Harry Glantz, I'm Harvey Freed. See you next Saturday.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.